It'll spread for different reasons.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, you know what? It'll work either way.
Hate share you.
Yeah.
Howdy, boys.
Who does this motherfucker think he is? Imitating my culture. We don't talk like that.
Oh, starting out of the gate hot. I love it.
Wait, did you just?
Yeah, I
You did.
sneak attacked you.
God damn it.
It's probably good if I have my microphone, right?
Oh, yeah, you need your microphone.
I always forget these things.
Steven was requesting me to, just so people know what the hell that was about. That
Persian car salesman
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah, apparently that clip needs to go live. I don't know about that, though. Might not perform well.
Oh, it's going to hit.
It's going to be a smash hit.
I don't know.
It's going to hit amongst all Persian car sales people. They're going to be like, that's me. It's me.
I don't know how flattering it was.
I think they know inside.
Okay.
They know inside what their gist is.
Yeah. How are you guys? Cheers. Can we get a little clink clack?
Ooh.
Clink.
Can I get just
Little
some
clink?
Oh, I'll get a clink. Eye contact around the mic.
I love the clink of the glass. We haven't had that in a while.
We're going to have a fun show. You know how I know? Because I saw two cards. One is an airing of grievances brought to you by Steven, and what grinds my gears brought to you by Arman. So I'm just going to be sitting back this episode.
Yeah, we're starting hot.
Yeah.
Some grievances to be
Starting
aired.
with some gears that are grinding.
All right. Well, shall we get into it?
Yeah,
Let's do
Elon, Steven, has a little Elon thing
Oh, you want to throw it up?
that you were
Elon?
going to mention.
What?
Yeah, what is this?
You have an Elon thing?
Yeah, dude, you got a card here for me.
Oh, yeah, I shared that today. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
so funny.
All right, what do you got? Am I playing this? What's going on?
I mean, the gist of it is that
Will you come and have lunch?
they're interviewing this girl. She's talking about Elon. They went out and everything, and at one point he's like, "Would you like to come up to my hotel room and look at my rocket?" And she's like, "Yes." And then she goes to his hotel room, and he proceeds to literally just show her videos of rockets, and then she leaves
Wait,
untouched.
is that the preface to the clip, or is that basically what
That's the
happens in
clip. I'm just giving it to you.
So
It's
now I
pretty
can't
funny.
watch the clip?
You can't watch the clip anymore.
What the?
You guys just bombarded me with
You just
this. I didn't know
rendition
what was
of
happening.
The clip? I wanted to see the clip.
All right, play the clip.
Okay, fine.
He said, I don't usually do this, but, I'd love to see you tomorrow. Can we meet for breakfast? And we had breakfast, and then at the end of breakfast, he said, will you come and have lunch with me? So then we went for lunch, and then he said,
It's going
will you come
hard.
to dinner? And then I remember one evening he said, would you like to come back to my hotel room so we can look at rocket videos? And I thought, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come back. And we did get into his hotel room, and he did just show me rocket videos.
I really love that. It's actually
I love her.
amazing.
I love her face when she says that. And he did just show me rocket videos.
How cute.
Legend. Legend. Man of his word.
King
Yeah.
shit.
Man of his word. The slow play.
Oh, we get someone in the
Go,
chat
Elon.
here for the Shah
Uh-oh.
Black Beauty Machine. Ooh,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What's happening?
there's some sisters in the chat.
That's a good handle. Black Beauty
Arman's
Machine.
intrigued.
That's a strong handle. Yeah.
Arman, you're so prominent in the shot today.
Am I?
It's basically like your show, and then me and Nick are just the
All right. Don't
little
switch
side
the cameras.
little side fiddles.
You're doing a little Alex Holmrosie, hike up the, tighten up
Gotta
the
go
jeans.
full jorts
Yeah.
up to the top. Quadruple the size of my traps.
crotch shot.
And a little more chest hair length, and we're good to go. And maybe a little length on the beard as well.
Yeah, you should go
Yeah.
full.
That guy
Hormozy beard.
crushes his cam videos. He knows what he's doing.
Didn't he just start off like recording videos of himself, like he was on a podcast, but he wasn't actually on a podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Just like head.
Brilliant.
Yeah, talking head videos, we call them. Stare right at the camera, bare your soul, and give some value. Yeah, he does that great.
Such a hoax. I love it.
All right, boys, let's get into it. Welcome, everybody, to the Alfalfa podcast. We are live on YouTube like we are every Wednesday, 5 p.m. PST. If you're just listening, come and join us Wednesdays. Hit up the YouTube channel, subscribe, like the video if you're already watching it already, and let's say what's up to some people in the chat. I see Tyler, Pilgart, Noah, Tom, A. Franco, Black Beauty Machine, of course. Welcome. I see Max, Hookem, Corby, Subhang, who says, bring back Irresponsibly Long, please.
Soon.
Bushing.
Hold on, I haven't heard one name, and I don't like it.
Uh-oh.
Who are we
is it?
missing?
You didn't say rectum.
I don't see him.
Where are you, rectum?
Where is
Where
rectum?
are you, Edmund? Mr. Apiki? Where are you?
Hashtag free Edmund is
free Edmund.
trending in the chat.
So, the community. I don't even know how to put it. The community is in chaos without Edmund right now. Edmund, we have been requested to make a public call to action for your return. We need you.
All right, PSA.
We need you.
We also got another community joint I should shout out
Okay.
because right before we joined, Just Mike tipped $169.42.
Oh, my goodness.
So much value added to my life being part of the Alfalfa community and listening to the pod instead of a leverage trade that will inevitably go the opposite direction. I want to give you guys some support. Love you all. Love the community. Big hearts.
Mike, I
thank
know
you,
Mike
Mike.
is a family man. That money needs to be going towards cereal for the kiddos. The fact that it came to us means a lot. Thank you. We'll continue to make this pod great again.
I remember when Mike joined.
Yeah.
Just jumped right in.
He not only did he just like jump, it was seamless.
Yeah,
He just
just-
like found his
Just
groove.
slid right
It
in
was
there.
like
It was perfect.
he surfed right in on a
Yeah.
wave. He found his wave and
Had
he
his
just
own
like
little vibe there.
nestled in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You noticed that too.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I noticed
He
everybody.
was just
who
like,
comes in.
I'm back. Not that I ever left. You know? It was very much like that. Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to join the community, you can go to alfalfapod.com. All the links are there, including the Discord. And if you want to support the pod just like Mike did, you can have fun in the super chat. Any donations in the super chat, your comment goes on the screen, just like you saw Just Mike's. You can also help us out by tweeting out the episode or sharing it with a friend. Pod's growing, and we see that's the #1 way it's growing. So thank you guys for doing that. And of course, check out the on-chain collectibles, pods.media/alfalfa. Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Lucas and Dan.
Yeah.
Saw them this week.
Oh, you
you?
saw him in person?
Yeah.
Oh,
Went over
love
to the
those
Airbnb,
guys.
had a little lunch.
Oh yeah, you did text me about
Lucas
this.
electrocuted himself. It was pretty gnarly.
Cool.
What?
So yeah,
You watched a live electrocution?
yeah. He well, I didn't see it. I just heard like an extremely loud zap and oh shit, and then just crackle. I thought somebody got struck by lightning.
Oh.
Yeah, he just pulled a plug out from the wall and it just full arm shock.
Oh shit.
I know. He's okay.
Is he okay?
Yeah,
I think. As far as I know, he's fine.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but shout out
there's
guys. The whole
Danger
team.
in
Met
meeting
the
up
whole
with the
team.
hosts, apparently.
Yeah. Thank you guys for the delicious lunch.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And speaking of meeting up with fellow members of the community, Eric is gone. He's in Hawaii right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's hanging out with a listener of the pod and also a client of Scope Wealth. He sent us some pictures of some Mai Tais. They're enjoying their time out there. So, Eric, we miss you. Arman, you gave us a little treat to drink today. You want to clue us in what we're drinking?
Mezcal Ranch Waters. Grab yourself a Topo Chico. Take a good-sized swig. Squeeze some lime juice. And throw in some mezcal.
It's so easy.
So easy.
So easy. So good.
It's wunderbar.
So easy a podcaster can
And
do it.
and then when we're done with 2 of those, we're gonna switch to just drinking it neat.
Where'd you get this mezcal at? Anything
It
special?
was like Falcon liquor.
Okay.
What?
You know, he said where. I'm telling him where. Like, it was just
what is Falcon Liquor?
It's the name of the liquor store.
I don't know this liquor store.
That was the question, and that's the answer. What else can I give you?
An odd name for a liquor store.
Can you take it up with the owner? No, it was actually a nice liquor store. Shout out to Falcon. Yeah, this is a. Let's see what we got. This is Del Amigo Mezcal Artesanal. So, I mean, most mezcal is artisanal in terms of the style and way they make it. But this is 100% Maguey Espadín from Oaxaca, which is pretty much where 98% of mezcal is from. I would say that's like a sign you always want to look for when you're buying mezcal. And not that they can't make it outside of Oaxaca, but, you know, they just happen to do great work there. And yeah, I mean, what else can I tell you?
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's.
We
Thank
got
you. That's it.
community members looking out for community members in the chat.
Get a
Hook'em's concerned. He
Another
posted up
super chat.
a super chat. Rectum, if you're tied up in a stripper's apartment in Tampa, blink twice.
Oh my god! I mean, that's possible.
Probable.
That's
Not only
probable.
possible, probable.
That's probable.
He liked the tweet I made yesterday, so
Yeah, that was huge.
I knew he was alive. Which
That
is
was
great.
huge. I hope he realizes what an alarm he has sent off. Don't you dare do this again, Edmund.
All right. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Zbiotics. Go to zbiotics.com/alfalfa. If you use the code alfalfa, you get dollars off, 15% off. And you also help support the pod. You also help support maybe your bad drinking habit.
What is Zbiotics, Nick?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Uh-huh.
Zbiotics is the first genetically engineered probiotic. It's the drink you take before drinking.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, and it gives you a little better morning so you don't have that not so feel good feeling in the morning, which we all have had in the past. I don't think we get them much anymore, thank God. I took my Zbiotics before we started recording, before we have 2 ranch waters and sip the rest of this bottle away. Yeah, they have a money-back guarantee, so, try out the 3-pack at the very least. I know 4th of July is coming up. We'll be out in a park somewhere.
That's right. You got to load up on this shit.
Yeah, and if you want to be a fan favorite at the 4th of July party, bring a pack of Zbiotics and bring them into the fold.
Save a life this 4th
Yeah,
of July.
save a life. All right, guys. Yeah, zbiotics.com/alfalfa, and thanks Zbiotics for supporting the pod. We love you mucho.
Matt said he got a friend a 12-pack last weekend.
Ooh,
Wow. Thank you, Matt.
It's a great
delivery.
gift.
It's an amazing gift.
It's like
the gift of life.
everyone. It's just such a good, like, I don't know,
Yeah, you give these to
consumables
people and they're like,
enjoy.
wow, thank you, actually.
Yeah, like something you can consume and receive immediate value from. And then there's like inherent alpha,
Yeah.
There's a story to tell. It's a great gift.
Amazing.
Nick, I heard you got some alpha.
Yeah, I do actually.
What is
okay,
this?
so you got this thrown up on the screen. Brendan, why don't you throw this up? So you may know that our
Polymarket.
2 elderly presidents-to-be are about to debate. And I think it's a good time to view the betting odds for the Democratic nominee. So we have Joseph Biden here coming at 85%, Michelle Obama in place, and Gavin in show. But I think that it might be time to make a wager.
Dude,
Not
I
that-
like this.
Not for the end finish line, but just that this debate could go so possibly wrong that the odds that Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris.
Wait, can we talk about how hilarious it is that Kamala Harris is the literal VP and she's behind Michelle Obama,
course she
Gavin
is.
Newsom, and other?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's
I don't know why it's 2%. That's high. There's no chance.
Yeah.
no
So
chance.
I don't know, maybe.
Nick, I like this.
And then you would just sell after the debate.
I'm going so what does it take to actually do this? Because I know nothing about gambling or betting. So say I wanted to bet on Michelle Obama being the nominee, and I want to put $100 down. It's a lot, mind you. So
That is a lot for you, I know.
I know. So
You're not
how
a
does
big
that
gambler.
work?
I'm not a big gambler.
It's scary. It's scary.
You buy. You buy yes.
Okay.
On the other candidates.
At 6.1 cents.
Yeah, that's your buy rate, even
Okay.
though the odds are 5%. So there's obviously a
my
vig
God.
there.
Okay.
And then you hope to sell, maybe at 9 or 10 cents after the debate, maybe even during
No,
the
it'll
debate.
be 100% because she's going to be the nominee.
Get out of here.
No, because fake Biden, the one with the mask, will have to step down.
Oh, God.
Because there will be a huge blunder.
Conspiracy theory alert.
No, I'm just foreshadowing, actually, for a topic later in this podcast. Are we talking about that today?
Maybe.
Fake Biden? I would like
can
to.
you go to the Polymarket homepage? Because there's another
Yes.
one. And I think this one has.
Biden dropping out, I think, is the more interesting
No,
market.
it's not. Because
right?
the odds. Okay, so it's the second one up there, the second
yeah.
card.
Biden drops out.
Biden drops out, ticked up to 31 today at one
Yeah,
point.
but it's 26%. I feel like you get better odds spreading some dimes across
Wait,
the other
isn't
candidates.
this an arbitrage opportunity? If he's 85% to be the nominee, but he's also 28% to drop out.
Yes, go on.
Can't you just sell one, buy the other, and I mean, it's an inefficient market here.
I mean,
this market has like 6 mil in volume though, and I think the other one only had like 50K. Oddly enough, like the Biden drops out has some actual big action on it.
so I don't know what size to put on here because I bet a long time ago $750 on Gavin Newsom to actually become the president, and I think I
You
win.
already TP'd that, didn't you?
I think I went over. No, you can't take profits. It's like a Bovada bet.
You could just hedge.
I could, but anyway, I would win 10 grand. I don't think that's likely, so I kind of need to.
Oh, I thought you already hedged out. You like 3 extra money.
I forgot about it for a while.
Oh.
Anyway,
I like this.
I'm gonna play along with this, so thought I'd share.
I like it. I'm kind of worried Biden's gonna like outperform at this point because of how
bad it is. Yeah.
well, no, like everybody is just like he's a vegetable and there's no chance. But like they're
That's
like
what I
they're trying to rig the debate pretty hard for him. And I feel like if he just doesn't keel over and die on stage, like people would be like, wow.
I mean, I've seen him like when he got up to do like one of his recent talks. What was that? State of the Union. Like he was well drugged up.
He's wired up.
He had a good like 40
ready
minutes
to deliver
or so.
Yeah, he's got
And
40
then he
minutes in him. You know, of like really delivering. As long as he walks in a very straight line and looks at his feet when he walks. Have you noticed that? He has to look down at his feet when he walks.
See, they can just strap
That's
him to
like
the podium. He's good. He can't even
Executive
fall.
command. Like they have made sure that he looks down and does not fall. It's like, can you imagine the number of conversations? Do not fall. That's all you have to do. Like that, he's probably getting trained on that every day. It's wild.
I mean, you make a good
Poor
point. The expectations are very low right now.
Very low.
Dude, they got no audience. They got commercial breaks.
Yeah.
They got like a couple CNN moderators.
Really?
Couple
Yeah,
diaper
they're just
breaks.
gonna ask Trump
that's
about
so
January 5th, like or 6th. I don't even remember the date anymore. It was like so long
Oh,
ago.
don't bullshit
don't.
me.
Yeah,
I
that's,
don't even
that's
know.
not
So
true.
whatever. All
That's
right,
not
what do we
true.
got?
Well, do you guys have any alfalfa you want to share, or should we get straight to the airing of grievances?
No, I think we should just let Steven rant about his new best friend.
Okay. Let me try to wire you up here,
Yeah, team me up.
Steven. So there's a billionaire out there, Mark Cuban, who actually has made 2 podcasts in a row. He was part of our minimum wage debate.
He's infuriating me every day.
Yeah, so he's talking about climate change on Twitter. He's possibly doing some virtue signaling. He is, putting some people down. And he also owns 3 jets in the process. He is the muse for our title today. Yeah. Should we read one of these quotes?
It's a very quick line. I won't vote for anyone that doesn't believe climate change is real. I mean, it's like a fair statement, I guess. But Mark Cuban is irritating the shit out of me. I think all of his political takes they're so bad. Not even because like they're like left, and I don't like them because they're left. They're just like not very well thought out. I mean, I hate his DEI stuff. It drives me nuts. Like obviously we've talked about that. But I hate this shit.
But what's wrong with this? He's just saying his voting preferences and his travel preferences can be totally separate from each other.
My rule for life is if you own 1 jet, you cannot comment on climate change. You cannot. You are banned. No commenting on climate change.
Are you poo-pooing Leonardo DiCaprio as well? Big climate change
yes.
activist.
If you own a mega yacht, also no commenting on climate change. Just, I don't know. Am I wrong? Is this fair game? Can you bitch about climate change on Twitter if you own 3 jets?
Yes.
Come at me.
I still don't know why you're upset. I want to
It's
hear
upsetting. No, these
why you're
people they
upset more.
climb to like the top of like the pile of humanity.
Okay.
Accumulate all this money.
Right.
Buy 3 jets. 3.
Okay.
3 jets, and he's just like. And this tweet is basically like, you're a fucking moron if you don't believe in climate change, which is fair, but then it's also like, you say that because you think climate change is a problem, but you can't be like, climate change is such a problem, and then buy 3 jets. You can't do it. You just look like a fucking asshole.
I mean, like,
even if
on
you're
the
right,
surface,
you just look like an asshole.
You do, but I just don't think that, like, every individual action that a person takes should be scrutinized, and if it doesn't directly line up with, like, the belief and the value that they hold, it means that they don't believe that value. Like, one is a macro problem and one is a micro decision. And like there are plenty of micro decisions that if you stack them together do exacerbate the macro problem. I agree with that. If everyone did what he did, like flying a jet is not the utilitarian answer. If everyone flew the jet, that would not work. He has built up the ability and earned the right to own 3 jets because he's provided a lot of value to humanity.
I agree with
and
that.
accumulated a lot of wealth, so he's bought 3 jets.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that he can't believe that climate change is a problem and that he isn't actually
Also
doing.
true.
So again, these 2 things, all I'm trying to say is these 2 things are not mutually exclusive. You have to value that Mark might be doing a lot for climate change. So to sit and only pick at his jet, it's like we're mistaking one action for the broader actions potentially. I don't know what his actions are outside of this, but I just think it doesn't grind my gears as much as it grinds yours.
Okay, like honestly, what do you think this man's carbon footprint is? Like, I would bet he has the carbon footprint of like 10,000 humans.
Yeah, but like, then there's Gandhi who preached kindness, and apparently he was kind of a prick.
This is a non sequitur, right?
No, it's not. No, it's not. There are people that believe in
Put up the
things
That's
and
Bait
propose
meme.
certain like values, but they don't always necessarily represent them. Their work is better off in the sort of like ability to be an evangelizer of the idea, and sometimes they don't back up what they say.
Look, I believe Abraham
it was Robin
Lincoln.
Williams in one of his stand-ups that says Gandhi was a prick, and I will never forget that. So,
Yes, and
By the way, I don't know if that's
Lincoln once
actually
said, "Practice what you preach." So
I
know.
saw
by the way, personally speaking, big fan, did good work in the world, but I'll never
Abe
forget
Lincoln?
that Robin Williams
Or
bit.
Robin Williams.
Yeah, the Robin Williams bit about Gandhi being a prick is so good. If you've ever seen the Robin Williams HBO stand-up, it is one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. That's real alfalfa. Highly recommend.
You know what we should do is we should clip that last segment just so that like 100,000 people or comments like Abraham Lincoln didn't say that, you fucking idiot. We got like 8 million views. It's perfect.
clip it. I saw a good meme that said Congress can't write a budget, but they can change the Earth's temperature if we all pay more taxes.
I don't know, guys. What does the chat think? I'm curious what the chat thinks. Do you think it's fair game to own jets and then like
Pontificate
belittle
on-
people or
So
pontificate
you
on
said
climate change?
Cuban is just, you got grievances with Cuban in general. Do you not commend how active and engaged he is with people on Twitter? Like, yes, you don't agree
I
with
do
him,
commend that.
But like, isn't it pretty awesome?
do
like
commend
how he responds so
It's
frequently
awesome.
to everyone.
He's exactly in like the Jason Calacanis circle, like where he just says things that like break my brain, and I'm just like, why are you so rich? And it just like hurts my soul. And then like I move on with my life.
Yeah, I really like how engaged he is, especially on a platform where he is clearly outnumbered.
I commend him for that.
He'll be running for president in one of these decades.
I'll take him over any of these fucks any day.
Really?
Are you kidding me? Coherent, doesn't arrive at the conclusions that I would like him to, but intelligent enough
I don't
to
know what his
listen.
crypto position is anymore.
I-
He got burned pretty bad.
Well,
in, Iron
he's
Finance
part of
back
that
in the day.
committee with Biden, so let's see how he sways that committee. Right?
Let's see.
I saw Ryan Selkis screaming that if he wasn't part of it, that it's a sham committee.
Ryan Selkis is
He's
losing
on-
his
he's-
mind right now,
He's losing.
and I'm here for it.
losing it.
It's been entertaining.
He's literally like at war.
Oh yeah, he's foaming at the mouth with
Yeah.
every tweet. It's quite remarkable.
Tyler brings up a good question. What's the extra utility of Jet 2 and 3? Like
That's a
the jet
great
is
question.
where you are because
I am
that's you.
so not rich enough to answer that question.
Well, Hook'em's rich enough. He says, Tyler, they leapfrog each other, so he's not inconvenienced by refueling time. The third plane trails in
what I
case there's a
figured, but I
mechanical
didn't
I was
sound
actually
like a
going to say
jackass.
that, not even as a joke.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to sound like a jackass.
No, I probably know
I
why.
have
It's
time
because
for
sometimes you want to go
fueling and
international
maintenance.
and you need like the big jet, but when you want to
You got
fly
the
to
little
like
guy, it's a little more efficient.
Des Moines or something, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know why you're flying to Des Moines, but
Yeah.
insert useful city. Sorry, Des Moines. I didn't mean
Sun
to.
Valley.
Sun
We're
Valley.
flying to Sun Valley.
Yeah, you
Steven.
don't need like the G5 to fly
Yeah.
to Sun Valley. It's
Yeah.
just overkill.
That's why.
All right, let's shift from the airing of grievances to, you know what really grinds my gears? Arman,
Yeah.
Get
talk
some
to me, man.
grievances to air.
All I see is in this card is crypto and KOLs are gross.
What is a KOL?
I don't know.
Wait,
It's the
w-
phrases you
don't
guys
know?
use. You crypto
Wait,
Twitter
it
people.
grinds your gears. You don't even know what it means.
Of course I do.
Oh, this is gonna be an
put
educational
it
segment
there.
too.
I put it there.
What?
Look, this whole
What's
like,
bothering you?
I don't think he knows what it
just
means.
influencer.
Oh, he's bluffing.
What?
What does it mean?
No, knowledge. Fucking, it's one of these stupid crypto
I love you.
meaning.
He's goofy.
I'm actually glad you don't know what it means.
No, it's this stupid new word for crypto.
Key opinion
Key
leader?
opinion leader.
Yes,
Whatever.
thank you.
Fucking stupid. Stupid.
Stupid. I hate it.
It's dumb. It's all dumb. It's all a sham.
Why? What'd you see this week? That
Yeah. What happened?
This
Talk to me.
entire industry is completely embarrassing. I'm so glad I'm not affiliated with it in any official capacity whatsoever. I think that it's a huge, monumental embarrassment, and that if I was someone like Ryan Selkis, I would probably be behaving just as crazy and aggressively as he is, because it's necessary in order for like there to be any sense of legitimacy
And-
at all whatsoever in this industry.
And for those who don't know, Ryan Selkis he's an entrepreneur in the industry, but he's also kind of taken the lead on being a representative to Congress. He's trying to rewrite some policy, pushing up the legal front from the entrepreneur, the builder perspective. And seems like he's done a good job before.
Yeah, he's CEO of Masari,
Yeah.
right?
There's nothing
wait,
like
so why-
specific that like put you over the edge.
Ansem uses the N word all the time just to get
that's
clicks.
right. He doesn't like Ansem.
No, I just can't stand any of it. The celebrity stuff, it's all bullshit. It's all complete bullshit. Utter waste of talent. Utter waste of technology. Utter waste of like. It's a waste. It's a complete waste. It's a bunch of people scamming each other with tiny little edges, acting like there's real utility and there's none. Buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, go home. In fact, I would actually I'm so grinded. The gears are so grinded that I seriously was looking at this myself this week and just going like, what am I doing not just buying like fucking Abercrombie and Fitch and Nvidia and calling it a day?
Good stock.
Like great stock.
Good stock.
So, like, obviously that one's a little bit of an outlier. Like, you know, you should see those coming though, because these brands always do these like weird nostalgia cycles. If you notice, you know, it's like Champion coming back and things like that. It just happens with fashion. But fashion aside, buy Nvidia, buy Microsoft for the next decade. I think you probably outperform crypto. And then you stay away from all of this insane waste of time and madness. It's a complete sham.
Which is probably the majority of people. It doesn't even hit their consciousness, all this like crap that shows up.
It is, but I'm actually speaking to the people that are in this industry. The opportunity cost of sitting there and trading meme coins, hoping that you win the lottery. Like, yes, you have a higher likelihood of winning the meme coin lottery than you do the actual lottery. Yes, it requires a tremendous amount of time. And yes, life-changing money can be made. But at what cost? I'm like with Ledger here. And I know you're
Wow.
my boy. Oh, I was always with Ledger. I think that was pretty obvious. Like, Steven's my boy. I think he brought a great argument. But, like, my logic and heart is with Ledger. The meme coin industry is just disgusting. There's nothing interesting coming out of it.
Actually,
nothing.
Jim Cramer was pumping some meme coins in front of Gary Gensler on CNBC.
Yeah,
Look,
pumping the
it's
bonk,
fun,
baby.
and it like if I'm going to take the other side of the argument, I think Doge, things like that, they're silly, they're fun, but like when you go further out on the risk curve, and you have like some coins that I can't even repeat the names of, it's disgusting. It's terrible. And if anyone of any serious mind whatsoever were to like stumble across this stuff, they would just be like, what the hell cesspool did I just step into? And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Can I have a rebuttal?
Well, gears
Of course.
grinded. Yeah, let me tee up the rebuttal here. So, if you guys are into meme coins, our very own Steven Cesaro debated Ledger on the Bankless podcast. So you can go search for that and hear the pro and con of meme coins. So, in the pro side,
And
Steven.
Steven had some very good arguments. Very good arguments, dude. And I want to believe you. But this industry sucks. Like-
you're Your rebuttal, sir. 60 seconds.
Yeah, I would. My main retort would be that random douchebags on Twitter with like high engagement and large follower counts are not the industry. They're not representative of the industry. They're like a little bubble. There is like actual real stuff.
They're representative of crypto
here.
Twitter, are they not?
No, I don't think so. There's a specific like realm of crypto Twitter, maybe. And I understand this sentiment. There has been like every cycle, there's a bunch of shit that goes down, but like this will kind of bleed into some alfalfa I have to share. Like, I do think we are at like a major inflection point in the industry. We've seen a BTC ETF, we've seen like an Ethereum ETF, which is basically all but approved, right? We are seeing the sort of like adoption and the like kind of de-shitification of like particular sectors. Like there's a cleansing happening right now. There's a lot of stuff going to zero. Like for the most part, like most of the meme stuff is going to zero. There is some consolidation into some of the quote unquote blue chip stuff. But we are also seeing like, these ETH killers kind of dying off, like a lot of like shitty VC projects. And we're seeing like a renaissance now. And like, I think like kind of like, so I've taken some of my ETH and I've started rotating it into like new coins. So stuff like Lido, Maker, Pendle. These are like interesting projects, I think, that are sort of adjacent to Ethereum, and they have like a high beta component, and they sort of fit into this niche of like, okay, TradFi is coming. They're going to start looking at real metrics and cash flows and stuff. And like, and I think a lot of these tokens and projects have been kind of left for dead. Like a lot of the attention has gone over to this like kind of dog shit stuff for sure. And I think we could see like a cycling back into quality. And for the start of this bull run, like the meme was like the barbell, right? It was like basically like Bitcoin and like trash. But that's not sustainable. That's not really what the industry is. And I do think it's going to find its
for
footing.
the open market and like junk being allowed to exist and cleansing itself out. What I'm not okay with is people that proclaim themselves to be the saviors of crypto, and Beeple is like turning them into art, which is what he did with Ansem. And this guy represents this entire cycle, and he's out here talking like a fucking buffoon. And of course, it's probably because I guess he said, I'm not as young as you think I am and all this stuff. But he's like sitting at home with like, I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. All I know is that he does not represent the best parts of this industry. And if this industry has any chance of being legitimized, it needs real figures that are willing to go out there and be like ETH needs its sailor, dude. It really does. It needs its sailor. And if it doesn't get one soon, I don't know, man. Like, it's
I don't consider them part of the industry. Like, I consider Jeremy from Circle part of the industry, Brian Armstrong. I think Hayden Adams, he's the founder of Uniswap.
Yeah.
And now you can maybe lump in former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, as part of the industry. We're starting to get some like real people part of the industry. He put out a op-ed in the Wall Street Journal talking about the power of stablecoins and how stablecoins could save the U.S. from a debt crisis. And I think we'll start to get some real people involved into the industry, and we just got to ignore those voices.
I hope so, but it's an attention economy.
Yes.
So the people that have the attention are not the people you want to have that attention.
But every single cycle has an Ansem or insert. Like every cycle has this like person who becomes the main character, and like Icarus, they fly too close to the sun, and then they just
What an absolute drop from grace, man! Fall from grace, like just
like remember last cycle?
gross.
Anybody remember Danny Sesta, Doquan? Like, do you remember these?
Yeah.
Sam. Like there's always these
Yeah.
people, but they always are burnt. And then the people who are left behind are the good guys, like the Haydens and the Robert Leschners and all the other builders and that are doing stuff, right? They persist through time.
I don't know.
Keep building,
Maybe
and they will
Andrew
win
Tate
in the
just
end.
needs to take over and save us from all of this. He might be the answer.
I know you don't believe that.
Who is?
Andrew Tate,
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ.
Daddy.
No.
You guys buy some daddy?
No.
No, yeah,
Believe
you can't
or
do
not,
it, can you?
no.
Yeah.
Steven, you like
See,
these
Steven,
celebrity
you're not too
coins?
good for daddy.
You're kind of
Come on.
pro meme coins. Are you pro celebrity coin?
Yeah, I mean, have you guys seen the DJT Trump drama that's been going on?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second.
So it's been like an interesting thing that's been happening this week in crypto. Basically, this coin DJT, which is the same ticker I think as Trump's SPAC, right?
Right.
Launches on Solana. Some rumors circulate that it's actually like an official coin of the Trump thing. All the kind of on-chain sleuths start getting involved, like your Zach XBT, and basically Martin Shkreli, our boy, the Pharma Bro, comes into the picture, and Zach XBT like outs him as the creator of this coin. The famous trader GCR gets involved, offers a $100 million bet to Shkreli that the coin is not from Donald Trump. He then says like, well, I'll do the bet if it's from like one of Donald Trump's team. There's a huge spaces. Kobe gets involved, agrees to escrow a $100 million bet. He's like, yeah, I'll hold the money. And let's see a cute little British accent. The bet sort of falls through, but this has created like a fuck ton of drama. But
So where did it land?
so this is still an ongoing thing. I mean, Shkreli, before I came here, he's doing a space with the Mario Nawfal, and he's just like the gist of it right now that I'm getting is that like maybe Barron or somebody like adjacent to him, maybe like a friend, launched it. And
Barron, as in Barron Trump,
Yes.
the son, the younger
lawyers
son.
got involved, possibly. Were like, stop, silence. Shkreli's claim, I think, is that he helped them launch it, but didn't do any insider trading or anything. This is very dicey for Shkreli because he's kind of on probation, very serious probation. Could go back to jail if he were to do something like this. So it's a whole clusterfuck. But
Wow.
this isn't even the part that's like really interesting to me. It's like this cycle, like especially like previous cycles, we've seen celebrities come in and do stuff and basically dump on people.
Yeah.
And I think it's very easy to write this off. Before Trump, we had the big thing where like Iggy Azalea came in and launched the Mother coin, and that's been an ongoing thing of debate because a lot of people on Ethereum are basically like, this is such a scam. Stop scamming people. Stop it.
Yeah,
just stop it.
It is a scam.
And Vitalik himself kind of got involved and was basically like, not cool for this. But like, what I would like posture is that like we're seeing the early innings of something that will become a thing, and we will kind of work out the scam kinks, and that in the future, like I think like every celebrity or large person, like I think actually they will have coins or something like that.
Yeah, but doesn't it play out like play 7 steps out? They always end in the same thing, it going to zero, because the financial incentives for the celebrity are to sell at a higher price. That's it.
Yes, but we can build a different system, I think.
Like where they're the liquidity provider only and they own 0 tokens and they just make money if it trades.
Yeah, for example, like what if there's like trading fees, like you collect fees if your coin trades, right? What if you have locked liquidity and you can't sell the coins, and then the only way to do it is to sort of like basically like borrow against that locked liquidity. The liquidity grows like as like fees go, so then you can't ever really sell. Like I don't know, like people have put out ways that I wish I had some handy, but I've read some stuff. I'm like, oh, it's like pretty smart. Like I can see this being a thing. Like there is a market, I think, to bet on attention, and that is what meme coins are, right? They're this like meme coins are like the precursor, I think, to celebrity coins, because they sort of like market tested the idea that like people want to gamble on attention or things that they think will capture other people's attention. That's kind of what the meme coin thing was before it turned into kind of like an NFT like super Ponzi game with like insiders dumping on you and all that shit, right? But I think if you had a pure form of this, it's like actually really interesting because it creates a market for speculating on what will have attention in the future, and it can kind of be like a discovery mechanism. It could be a way for people who have potential to fund themselves in a way that they can't today. I don't know. I'm not like totally bearish on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you could find a verifiable way that the celebrity or the person launching it or their cohort and family and crew don't actually own any of them and they only make it off trading fees, then they get incentivized by what people are buying into, which is attention.
Yeah.
They get the more attention, the more trading fees, the more they make money, and there's no one to dump on you.
Yeah. There's some kinks to work out for sure. And a lot of them are like very technical, but I don't know.
I'm
Could be
into it.
something there.
I'm hopeful for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
And
it.
my bags.
All right, what are we going into next? I see some community alfalfa. I see.
Oh yeah, we had a little thing dropped in the Discord. Some alfalfa. Somebody wanted to share it. What was it? K Joe?
K-Joe.
K-Joe?
K-Ho. K-Ho.
K-Ho. K-Ho.
Yeah, if we can switch to the screen. So, New York Times article, Don't Run from Fear. Embrace it. Seeking out the scary and the spooky can be a fun and healthy way to build resilience and learn to cope with stress. I just want to know what psychopath wrote this.
Did not see
What
that coming.
psychopath sits and watches scary movies, horror movies for fun? I am so anti-scary movie.
Going back to that.
I saw a clip. It was like, I don't understand why my wife is so anxious. See, after her third, cold brew and watching murder mysteries, like I don't get it.
Literally can't go out the back door without like.
Why is she so anxious?
Oh, yeah.
I thought
but I
this-
guess there's some benefits.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting because it was like a callback to that discussion we had on like why women watch like
Yeah.
gruesome horror movies.
Yeah.
And we had this like whole thing talking about it.
True crime.
But this article likens it to like it's like something that's wired deep within us. Like the reason like kids like to play peekaboo is because you're like wired to seek out this like Goldilocks level of fear and stress where you're sort of building resilience to the stressor, and you're sort of like developing like an immunoresponse. So our girlfriends watching horror movies is kind of like the little kids playing peekaboo in a way.
Yeah, and I think the key word there is the Goldilocks, right? It's not
Yeah.
irreversible fear where like you may die. And the image in that article is a roller coaster, right? That's like probably good in the Goldilocks zone of fear. You probably won't die, but you'll face your fears of like whatever
I
it may
don't
be
know,
falling off.
man. There's like Goosebumps when you were a kid, which I crushed. And then there's like Saw 14. And it just gets weird. And I just don't see the value
what about
anymore.
like public speaking? I think public speaking is a good example of this. Like I think this is something that people should actively do, even
That's
though it's
not my
fucking
interpretation of
terrifying.
what the article was trying to
I
to
think
say.
it exactly.
If you're
is,
talking about
though.
like stressors,
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
do
Like,
difficult
anxiety.
things, go for a hard run, lift some heavy ass
Dude, like,
weight.
have you seen the stats? Like, people are
know.
more scared of public speaking than like basically dying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same thing for a lot of people.
But
Yeah.
So I think it's like
I like
pretty
that. I think
equivalent.
that's also in the Goldilocks zone of facing fears, and it has like an immediate reward right after. So you face the fears, you do a good job, you get immediate feedback from the audience. You talk to people after the show, you get some feedback. It's a nice little kind of
Yeah.
positive
It's funny,
loop.
they're basically describing like fear flow, sweet spot of fear. We asked people to like go into a haunted house wearing a heart rate monitor. If it was too boring, then the enjoyment was diminished. If it was too much, it was just like overwhelming. So there's like a sweet spot to
Yeah,
fear.
it's like when Nick works out. He's get that like
Could snap my back in half. Could hit a new PR.
gotta get that heart rate at just the right level for the proper burn. I mean, it's a similar mechanism, I think.
I mean, this aside, I hate scary movies. Like,
Yeah, scary
just
movies,
speaking,
I-
like,
yeah,
generally,
they suck.
Like this thing, like horror movies, scary movies. I would much rather live in my little fantasy of like positivity than to like actually sit and watch.
No, you're
like,
even more of a
scary
sick
movies.
fuck. You like to create startups and raise money and grow like hard technical platforms.
That's-
Like
I don't know. That's different. I like that kind of
That
stress.
sounds scary.
That's
I feel,
scary. as
I feel like
fuck.
if you ran like some sort of correlation study, like the people who like ran startups and had all these like stressors in their life, I feel like virtually none of them like go home and like watch horror movies.
Can you imagine?
Like
that?
I feel like there's probably like a pretty sick inverse correlation. They're like, fuck that.
I need to go home and start
watch-
watching like fucking Disney cartoons.
Yeah.
Like it would honestly be
Put
very
on Frozen,
enjoyable.
baby.
you're
it
like,
would
yeah,
be
I just
very
lived 14
enjoyable.
hours of a scary
oh
movie.
my god, I'm already watching Miss Rachel all day when I'm home. That
What's
makes
Miss
sense.
Rachel?
Miss Rachel, the YouTube.
What's Miss Rachel?
What's Miss
Oh,
Rachel?
You're gonna
Wait,
learn.
is this like a you
You're gonna learn
had to be a
pretty
dad
soon.
thing? Wait, how do you know
Man.
this? It's a dad thing.
I know this because I have friends with children.
Miss Rachel is a phenom. Miss Rachel is like the greatest thing to happen to parenting since the invention of the what's
Does-
the
How
the
does
roller wheelie thing?
The roller
I don't
wheelie
know.
thing?
Wait, how does
It's huge.
Miss Rachel make money from her? I assume this is a YouTube channel.
YouTube.
Billions of views, you know.
She
She
literally
show
gets,
ads to
like,
the kids.
She's like the Mr. Beast
Yeah.
of.
I think YouTube Kids.
You
is
can't
monetized, right?
show ads to kids.
I don't know.
What's her shtick?
She's got like 500 million views a video.
Preschool, toddler.
Product placement.
Sings
videos.
songs and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
She has her own original music. She's a singer. She's a teacher. She has a whole team of people. You should see her early videos compared to her like recent ones. What an arc. What a hero's arc. What a journey. I love Miss Rachel. Huge fan.
I need to know how she makes money before I can pass
You're
judgment.
so focused on this. I have no idea.
Well, I want to know what her incentives are. Like, what does she do?
I'm pretty curious too. Where are the incentives here?
Wait, what do you mean incentives? She's obviously making money. She gets hundreds of millions of
How?
views.
How?
How does she make the
Is she
money?
programming your kid? Like, what do you with what?
I don't know. What do you mean? They don't get ads when they run
No, you
kids'
can't. You
videos?
can't show ads to
Really?
kids on YouTube.
No.
So what is going
Yeah,
on
how do
here?
they make money off
Someone
those
find
billions
out
of
and
views?
post in the chat how Miss Rachel makes
how
money.
does Miss
What
Rachel
if
make
she's
money,
just
guys?
adding value to society
Get
and she's
the
the
fuck
modern
outta
day
here.
Mr.
Yeah,
Rogers?
I don't buy that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Not buying it.
All
I
right.
don't buy it.
How did Mr. Rogers make money? Probably got paid a little bit to run his little show, and
I'm
that
pretty
was
sure
enough
he
for
was
him.
paid a nice salary. Yes.
All right. Well, maybe she's paid as well. Maybe someone just sponsors the whole thing.
Maybe YouTube actually just pays kids creators like on the basis of how many views they get, just because they think it's like a value add to their platform.
We got to
or
have
something.
like ChatGPT as part of the
No.
show. And we
Um,
just literally talk to it.
Back
during
on
show.
the fear topic, like what else is in that zone? I'm trying to think, like what. Maybe sparring
Yeah.
in you know
good.
either jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or boxing. You may not die. You may get knocked out, but kind of in that Goldilocks zone.
Talking to girls at the bar.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, lost art.
Hmm.
Not something I've done in a while, but
Yeah.
you know. But that was like peak anxiety back in the day. Remember the first girl you ever talked in a bar? Like I don't, because I blacked out. But like just the first time you're just in a bar and there's like a girl over there and you're like, oh fuck.
And I love how the initial advice is like, just go ask her hi. Just tell her hi. How's she
All right,
doing?
where did you guys get this from? She shows ads.
She shows ads.
Yes, and she's worth $10 million, and she makes between $1 and $5 million a year from.
Wait,
ad
so like
revenue.
as an advertiser, I can just target 8-year-olds
I guess
with what?
I don't know. And she has merchandise,
If you're targeting the
digital
parents, they're like monitoring
downloads,
the TV, you know?
Mhm.
live events,
Diapers.
Okay, live events.
Sells diapers.
But yeah, the main thing is YouTube ad revenue.
Okay, all right, stand corrected. Sounds evil. As someone who's been
Pretty sure
spent-
literally every child program on TV since the dawn of television is had ads. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No
She
foul.
apparently crushes. She did a commencement speech recently. It was so wonderful and
Commencement
heartfelt.
speech.
Yeah,
If I
it was a very good commencement
bro,
speech.
if I was graduating and Miss Rachel was the commencement speech, I'd be like, God damn it! Like, why did I?
Dude, it was really
When
inspiring.
my buddy got Roger Federer.
Can we
and I got
rerun the
Miss Rachel.
simulation for
You
me?
should watch it. I shed a tear.
Oh man.
You would shed a tear too. I guarantee you would shed a tear.
Wait. All right, I want to shift the conversation back to this one though. Like, do you do you remember going to bars and talking to girls like your early days? Like, what was your move? Did you have a move?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe in like moves or lines. You got to feel the moment, kind of thing.
So you had a variety of.
Of course.
Wow,
Wide
that's.
Variety, repertoire. Yeah, you got to
And
feel
you,
it.
you
It's
didn't have a
flow.
beard back then.
No beard. It was
Wow.
beardless.
Just beardless. Just
yeah,
naked.
I was running game without assets. You know.
Do you guys
So-
remember the old pickup artists books and movies, or
Yeah,
no,
I
or
know.
like
The
reality
game.
shows?
Yeah, our
By,
buddy our
Neil,
buddy
what's his
made that
face?
brand happen.
Oh yeah, you're right. He did work on that
Our
project.
close friends.
Was
like,
that guy's name Mystery?
mystery.
Yes, he worked with them.
Our
Just wear,
friend
like,
lived
a
with him.
Fucking top hat and a leopard shirt, or some crazy shit.
Yeah, and he would tell us the stories of like there would be these like Silicon Valley engineers who would pay Mystery like 5-10 grand just to go out with them in the bar, and all the guy would do is just force him to go talk to women.
Yeah, I
He
didn't
gave
like
him
it.
he gave him sticks to
They
use.
taught you how to like nag girls and like kind of like hook them and make them feel kind of indebted to you and play games. And there's some good stuff in there for people that need it for sure. I know some friends whose lives changed from like just learning pickup in a positive way. The counter argument to pick up is that like you just treat it like a sport and you don't treat women with respect. There's definitely a bunch of people that probably did that. Personally, I just enjoy the flow state of like the dynamic and the dance of like figuring someone out and like how to show up and
Literally
how to
dancing
conversate
as
and
he
when to
says it.
walk away and when to engage and what to say and do you buy the drink. It's a dance. It's fucking tango, baby. It's beautiful. I like it.
Meanwhile,
that's what I
Steven's
met my
walking up
wife,
to the girl,
for
going
the
through like
record.
algebra equations and being like, okay, so what is
I
the
mean,
proper
I met my
game
wife
theory
at a bar.
optimal response here?
I met my wife at a bar. My pickup move with Erica was I walked right up to her and I noticed her champagne glass was empty. And I was like, you need another glass of champagne.
Wolfed.
Yeah.
Just wolfed right
She
in.
looked at you.
And
She's
she was
like,
talking to somebody.
yes, I do.
She was talking to a dude. who
Wow.
I will not name. And I just pulled her away.
You just
Wow,
deboed him.
wolfed.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a strong move.
I
High
was,
risk,
I
high
was in a
reward
mode
move.
at that point in my life. But let's go to you. I mean, did you like, what was your, do you remember those days, Steven?
I mean, I don't know. I did not have a lot of game, especially in the early days.
Yeah, but you're that guy that has game that isn't trying to have game. You know? Like
I think my natural awkwardness ended up becoming
Your
my-
game.
Yeah, like
That's
people were just
exactly
like,
what I
oh, look
mean.
at this fucking.
Just all
Yeah.
defenses
Yeah,
go
just-
get
Yeah,
lowered.
That's your game.
I was basically like the guys who pretend to be gay, effectively. I guess like yeah, it's like just all the
I mean, that
defenses
is
go
the
down.
best. I saw that game. That's the best game. That guy had every girl wrapped around his
Do you
finger.
want to come back to my place and look at crypto charts? That's what he actually just showed me charts. It was weird.
I got very rich. I bought some meme coins.
Oh man, I could see that. Teaching poker hands.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Innocence works. Yeah, I had to battle, bro. It's different. It's different. I
Face
don't
like
I don't
yours,
I don't
I
have
don't
your
believe it.
smile, Steven. I don't have your smile. It's different. And I didn't have the beard, you know? So work with
I
what
didn't
I
have
got.
this scruff back then either.
No, that's true.
I was clean
I
shaven.
still don't. Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we're not watching scary movies.
Nope.
I mean, I feel like you're into them though, Nick, are you?
No, absolutely
No,
not.
okay.
I won't let any of that bad
Into your
stuff
brain.
enter my subconscious.
Yeah, that's
No-
exactly
no
how
rational
I am
human.
about
No
it.
one needs
I
that.
don't have time for that.
Nonsense.
All right, you want to go to conspiracy theory land, or do you want to go to gaslighting world?
No, we have to talk about fake Biden.
Just touch on it real quick. I
All
think
right.
it's funny.
Please
all right.
do.
Oh, was that my cue to do it? Oh, yeah. There's like, I don't know. My Twitter feed is just turning into more and more of a conspiratorial cesspool because I just keep clicking on stuff and it's just like feeding me. And I just keep getting all this like Joe Biden is dead and they've replaced him with like a method actor and or a guy in a mask from the CIA. Just like feeding me all these like images of like his face, and he's like scratching the back of his neck, and it's like
Dude,
moving like in a
that
very
was
odd
weird.
way. Well, I asked like we have some medical people in the Discord, you know, and I was like, do old people's skin behave like this? Does it behave like this? And people were like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. But I just think it's like I don't, for the record, I don't really believe this. I don't know. Are you buying
Absolutely
into
not. This is so ridiculous.
I don't know what life is anymore. So
But I think that's kind of
I'm
the point
not
of this.
saying I think there's a non-zero chance.
I mean, it has to be non-zero with all the shit we've been through.
No, it's zero.
It's non-zero.
It's zero.
To me, it's definitely non-zero.
I mean, the biggest hole in this theory is that, like, wait, so Biden's dead, and you've got a guy impersonating him, but the guy impersonating him is like shitting his pants on stage. Why?
That's part of the shtick.
It's just
That would be part of the script.
So the script is that he's dead, and then they make him just
Decline.
seem so declined that they're like, we
Decline.
have to replace the fake
Dude,
guy.
yeah,
and they
because
put
like,
in,
you
a
don't want the
stooge.
fake president in charge forever. So it's like, let's slowly work our way out here, you know?
That's some good tinfoil. Thank
yeah,
you.
it is.
I
Marty
like that.
posted a really good like summary of the position in the Discord. I don't have the Discord in front of me. Actually, I think it's worth reading if you guys don't mind, because it's like how to condense this whole thing into like one incredible tinfoil take.
A large portion of society has lost faith in the institutions. I think is the moral of this.
Do you remember what channel it was, Steven? There's too many channels.
It's probably in the Pod Topics channel.
Oh, it was Pod Topics,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is this
Okay.
some like grade A Reynolds
So
wrapped
he
tinfoil
says,
here?
I feel it's my job to add to this Biden discussion. I think the bigger idea is completely deflating people's faith in the political system. For example, please consider, don't get butthurt, a wild world in the future where it's revealed that Obama is gay and had his ex-lovers killed and is not a U.S. citizen. Biden rigged the win versus Trump. The Clinton body bags are all real. Biden was actually a guy in a mask the whole time. It's not simply to put in a fake guy, quote unquote, but rather to absolutely shatter your faith in any real semblance of a political system, to completely deflate you and make you apathetic.
Wow.
What
so
a
the
take.
whole point is that you do discover it and you're demoralized by the psyop.
You're just done. You just cannot face reality anymore.
I love it.
I love Marty, but I think he's running out of yarn connecting all these different ideas on the corkboard together.
I assign a non-zero probability.
Okay.
All will be revealed someday, Nick.
I am impressed by the broader thesis, though.
Yeah.
Love it. It's good. It's a good foil.
All right.
Am I going to play this video? Is there any reason to play this video, Steven?
No.
No.
No. I think the funniest thing about it is
You can put it in the background, bro.
dude, like I look at some of the images and they have the images and they have arrows pointing and you're like, look at the arrows. They're pointing at the chin. Look at them.
No,
And
that's
you're
what
like-
people do in
you're
ads.
like-
They just point
Right, but
arrows
you're-
at
but
things
you're
just to
just
get
like-
you to click.
But you're like, but the chin's the same, and people are like, the arrow's going to.
And they show two pictures, and one's of him like 20 years ago. Like, yeah.
He's like head is tilted slightly to the right, and then the ears don't line up, and people are like, look. Dude, there was one video that was going viral where they were like had an
this
interview of
video
him like
is-
talking on CNBC, and there's like this like line on his neck, and it looks kind of like dark.
Yeah, it
And
happens.
people are like, it's Obama in a mask.
Get the fuck out of here.
And then like down, it just goes super viral. And then like down the thread, some guy's like, it's the lighting from the studio, and they show a clip of the host, and he has the same like exact thing. But, like,
This is so funny. Did you see this video? It's like a full like multi-page report by somebody.
I want to
It's
see the
very
full
professional.
report. I don't want to see a video grazing.
But
I think
this
we should be-
question, I just want to answer this question. After 30 years, it looks like he's changed his signature. Who changes their signature after 30 years? My dad changed his signature.
I changed my signature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, after like forever of having the same signature, one day I just saw he just like completely changed it into something shorter. And I was like, why'd you do that, Dad? He's like, I don't know. It's quicker.
Yeah. No. When I signed the mortgage on my house, they were giving me shit. They were like, this isn't the signature we have on your record. And I'm like, this is just how I sign now. Like they were like,
Yeah,
my
you
old signature was like, I was
can't
like
do that,
writing out
Steven.
every letter in nice cursive, and now it's just like, zhoop.
Yeah, I feel like everyone eventually gets
And
to
they were
the
like,
zoop.
I said the same thing. I'm like, it's just too long.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
All right.
people change their signature.
Let's talk a little about gaslighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's continue your airing of grievances. Steven thinks that the
No.
okay,
No.
Eric Weinstein.
Eric Weinstein.
Arman, pull up the Eric Weinstein tweet.
Direct your hate mail to Eric Weinstein. I just want to.
He provides an argument on why the Democratic Party is the party of gaslighting. So he gives some
It might
specific
be
examples.
Good to start with the most incredible example that happened the day after Steven suggested this as a topic.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and read it out?
What's that?
2 weeks ago, I did what this is, by the way, this is President Biden using the
Oh,
@POTUS
this is like yesterday.
handle. 2 weeks ago, I did what Republicans in Congress refused to do. I took action to secure the border. I restricted unlawful crossings and enabled quicker decisions on asylum. And since we implemented my order, border encounters have dropped by 25%.
Yeah. See, gaslighting. That's gaslighting.
Dumb. Do they think we are?
They think you're very dumb. They just think everybody's.
I did what Republicans refused to do.
This is the most like. There's been a lot of gaslighty tweets.
This
like,
is an all-time
This is
great.
pretty high.
This is an all-time great. Why
Okay.
would they do this? Why are they the party of gaslighting? What's the thesis?
Well, Eric Weinstein is a very.
So I'll switch to that.
I think his thesis is good. It's a little more well thought out. So like his original tweet is sort of like, why do you asymmetrically focus on the left versus the right? Because a lot of people are like, hey, you say you're a liberal, but all of your tweets are kind of bashing on the left.
And for the
What are
record,
you?
everyone has started to become that way. We're that way. So many people I know have become more focused on their grievances of the left.
They're also
than
the party
right.
in power, who also gets most of the vitriol, right?
Yeah, it's not just the party in power, though. It's the party in power of what America represents culturally right now. I think that's why it's a discussion.
Well, like when I read what Weinstein was tweeting, I was like, "Oh yes, this is like how I feel." Because like I don't view myself as like that right wing, but like I
Not
just
at
like
all.
hate like the left. The political left has driven me crazy for like basically 7 years running at this point or something. I don't even know. And like what he sort of talks about in this tweet is like he's basically like, you know, like when the right disagrees with you, they may call you a name like libtard
Yeah, commie.
or commie, and that's shitty behavior. But they don't coordinate behind the scenes in emails to be discovered later and all agree to pretend seemingly independently that as a former expert you have committed some unclear moral crime that means you could never be impaneled or invited onto a commission. They aren't immediately going to treat you like a mental patient, a con artist, or a threat to society. They're just going to be asses. That's the dopey game they play. And his sort of gist is basically like, yeah, the right like argues with you and they call you names and have dumb arguments sometimes, but they don't have this like kind of like
Psyop.
giant psyop of like so the left does this thing where they sort of capture the media, they propagandize you with media, and then they trot out all these like fucking experts to
Dude, it's
tell
literally
you
a
that
toxic-
things that you
it's
know are
toxic.
not true are actually true. And he lists them all. He's like COVID origin, southern border, string theory, that's his own pet thing.
Yeah, it is.
not a huge concern of mine. POTUS, cognitive state and age, Epstein's intelligence connection, COVID management, questioning Ukraine and NATO strategy, inflation growth measurement, VP competency, monetary aggregates, betting, sex and gender redefinition, and it just goes on and on and on. And Hunter Biden laptop story, bailouts.
All
It's
of
just
these
like
are totally things that they've gaslit people on.
these are just all things that you know are like you just like if you're a smart person, like when these things happened or came up, you're like no. And they were like, actually, here's 37 coordinated news stories, and then here's all these experts, and then you will agree with all this because these are the experts. And oh, by the way, if you don't agree with it, we'll sort of erase you from.
Did you understand the second part of his argument about reach, reputation, and independence?
Where is that?
So if you scroll down a little bit, Arman, into the tweet, keep scrolling, right here. So he says, it's not that I don't have political opinions. I do. It's that I haven't been able to focus on them for years. All we seem to do these days is deal with gaslighting on our top line issues above. And the formula is quite simple. An expert can have reach, reputation, and independence, but no more than 2 out of the 3. This is a terrible rule. And whoever attempts to enforce that rule is who I fight. So I'm trying to understand what he's saying here. Is he saying that, like, these are the people who he... like the left is decrediting experts who fit these 3? I don't understand his argument here.
He's saying they will allow. There's some like powers that be, and they will allow you to have like
2 of those.
2 of these things, but you can't have all of them. So
Okay.
if you have reach and reputation, you're totally under their control. If you have reputation and independence, you're irrelevant. You have no reach. Nobody can see you.
Got it. So like Jay Bhattacharya as an example, he may have reach and independence, but they attack his reputation to...
It's like once you basically achieve all 3 of these, and you're sort of achieving escape velocity, and then they have to sort of knock you down. You can't be allowed to have all of those things. So in Jay Bhattacharya, for example, he had independence at one point. He had reputation, and that was totally cool. But once he started getting reach, once those ideas actually started getting out, reaching people at critical mass, no.
Got it.
Then we have to destroy one or more of those things. And we basically destroy your reputation via, smear campaigns, and we destroy your reach via going to social media companies, through the FBI or whatever government agency and just kind of back.
I mean, the border wall one just really...
Well, on that note,
Sure. Yeah.
so is this a fair counter argument from Tom Nom Nom? So didn't the right state that they didn't want to fix the border problem until after the election? So isn't the statement technically correct?
Yes.
But not in the broader context.
I think
And
there-
does that make it not gaslighting?
The details are a little fuzzy to me, but I think the Biden administration put together a bill that they thought both sides could to agree to. Both sides were probably ready, and I'm talking about Congress. Both sides were probably ready to agree, and then Trump, as the Republican leader, said, "Whoa, hold on. You're trying to actually solve this problem before we have an election?
Right.
No. You need to, take a step back, find some problems with this thing, because this is what I'm going to use against him to win the election." All like conservative parties are aligned in that, and it kind of fell apart. But that doesn't necessarily negate, his day one actions, which is defunding
Or
the border
number
wall.
of people that have crossed the border.
Right. The facts still remain. There was an emergency declaration at the border that was withdrawn. Deportation of illegal aliens was paused. And at some point when people acclaimed asylum, Trump had instituted a policy where they have to remain in Mexico while they wait for their asylum case to be brought in front of a judge. And they got rid of that. So people would claim asylum, okay, enter the United States, and in like 5 months you have your asylum case in front of a judge, but you're kind of already in the country already. You could roam free, from that point on. So I think Tom Nom brings up a good point that should be part of the argument.
There's nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some nuance here, but like I wouldn't describe that as gaslight. I would describe that as exactly what Weinstein said that Republicans do. Standard dumb political stuff. But like
right.
that is not gaslighting. To basically put out a tweet saying like, I secured the border, Republicans wouldn't do, like, it's just like it's like you light your house on fire, right? And then you come over and you like hose down like the part of the garage, and you're like, I'm doing what the fire department didn't do. You lit the house on fire, and you're just like, it's just it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, like behavior like that inside of a company would like make it crumble, right? Because like when you're actually trying to solve problems and move forward, you need to like agree on facts and use the facts and the data to like guide your decision making. But it doesn't seem to be the main goal. I mean, politics.
Do you feel like I do? Like, I feel like we have to differentiate between kind of like there's like the establishment left, right, and then there's the kind of Weinstein, like, I don't know, intellectual kind of semi-ostracized left, and then there's like, I don't know, like communist. There's a lot of left, but we're talking about kind of like the establishment narrative and the stuff that happens. Like, do you not feel like driven? Like, I feel like I'm being driven fucking crazy sometimes by like the stuff that is being like shoved down my throat. Like, it just like actually makes me mental, and I think the reason it makes me mental is because like I'm hyper logical, and it is just like completely fucking illogical. And it's just like it's just the line from like 1984 where they're just like the party tells you 2 + 2 = 5, and it's just like that's what it feels like is happening to me. But I don't know if I'm being dramatic or you guys feel like that at all. But like,
no, I feel frustrated, and as soon as I get a hint of frustration, I like just back out of it. I used to like get really involved and like get worked up and think about it a lot, and now I just like exit and be like, well, this actually doesn't really matter in my day-to-day life, and I have other goals I want to achieve. But that being said, like, do you think this is an intentional gaslighting, or is it just the fact that the major media outlets are based in cities like New York and maybe Los Angeles, and Democratic Party saw them as like a tool that they could use, and it just is like the frog slowly getting in boiled water. We're like, well, I could keep going back to this tool. I could keep using. I keep, like influencing the debate, influencing the narrative via media companies. But is it really this like, I don't know, grand strategy out of the White House or any political operative to gaslight the American public?
Probably not. It's probably just like effective on a particular critical mass of people's brains and the way that people think, and so they keep doing it. Also, the other explanation is like there's this sort of like ossified political machinery that is doing a thing that has worked for decades, but now they're in an environment where it doesn't work anymore. Like there's these other media outlets or whatever, like information flows have been disrupted, and they either can't see the change that's happening, or like they just only have one play. It's like a machine that can only do one thing.
Both of those.
Yeah, probably both. But then we're sort of like in the late stages of the, like, it's clearly not sustainable.
There's a playbook that has worked for all time, and it just continues to be run. I don't think gaslighting in this manner is new at all whatsoever. Yeah. These are power games that are effective because the majority of people don't do the due diligence. And so when they're being gaslit, they don't even know they're being gaslit. They simply feel like the truth is being expressed to them by the group party that they prescribe to that group's thinking. And when you have things like group thinking and how powerful they are, we were talking about this, me and BW were talking about this in the Discord. It's incredible the power of groupthink on some of the most intellectual people in the world. Like, everyone has very, very smart friends who you watch believe absurd things, and you can't understand how they arrive to those conclusions. But it is that powerful of a mechanism. Like, that's what it can do to people. It can completely put the blinders on and cloud judgment to the level and degree in which, from the outside looking in, you wonder, how could you have possibly arrived at that conclusion? This is a lie. You're being gaslit, and this is a lie being told directly to your face. How could you believe such a thing? Which then makes you wonder, another thing BW and I talked about is, like, where are you?
Right.
Also susceptible to the same thing, and constantly asking yourself that question of, like, how might I be falling into maybe different degrees of this, but the same thing to that effect. It's very scary to think how much we could believe in such a lie.
That's interesting, because I think one of the scariest things that's happened in the last, let's call it 8 years, it seems to be more prominent, is that people take their political views, their political ideology, and, like, it becomes part of their identity to who you hang out with and who you don't. I think I kind of remember a time when politics was just another section in the newspaper. There's like the major news, the sports section, the money and finance section. There's a politics section. It just was like this, other section in the newspaper.
It was kind of confined. The topics within it were confined to certain things, and now everything is sort of like open game to be politicized.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Stephen, I was talking to your brother on the way home from dinner, and he was talking to some younger, like, let's call them Gen Zers, like 16 years old, and he was very curious what it's like to be 16. And the first thing that they brought up was like, well, there's like two groups of us. There's people who support these issues, social issues, and there's people who don't. They feel pressure as a 16-year-old to, like, you have to be pro whatever, pro trans, pro whatever. You probably shouldn't be pro Trump. And then there's people who are not. And he's like, we divide into groups based upon where we side on social issues. And I'm obviously, like, summarizing and, like, rounding up here, but the point is that was the first thing that came to mind when, like, what's it like to be a 16-year-old? They brought up social issues and put it in describing themselves in tribes on what opinion they have on those.
There's never been a deeper identification with political positions and group thinking than before, in my opinion. Well, that's not fair. Like, you have certain, like, eras in which, like, the 60s, and there were times when politics became extremely ideological and important and worth fighting for. So these things probably happen in cycles, as I think about it.
But even in the 60s, we're, like, 16-year-olds, like, dividing.
I don't think at this level.
Probably not, right?
I don't think at this level. I don't think in this manner. We're clearly going through, like, a longer macro cycle beyond just, like, what we experienced in the 60s.
Man, like, when I was 16, I was just like, how do I make friends in high school? Like, politics was not even like remotely part of the world cloud.
Yeah, like, my mind. I mean, I thought about politics.
It was for older people,
school, but
and
I didn't,
it was
like,
lame.
Nobody associated, like, at all that way.
Well, again, that's because there's no boundaries. Politics was confined to a certain section of the newspaper and for a certain breed of person. And now there's no confinement. There's no restriction of what is politicized. What that ultimately means, the point was that if every topic, like if Taylor Swift is a political topic, what do you do? That means that every conversation you have and continue to have requires a position. The moment I meet you, I want to know, do you believe in God? It's like, why do people refuse to answer that question? Because the likelihood, another great conversation we had in the Discord, is the likelihood that you and I agree that our definition of believe in God is the same as zero. It's basically zero. So how can we even get to a position where, and what you're trying to do is box me in and understand what my position is on that topic so that I can put you into a place into my life to say, are we on the same team or not? And that's the same thing with Taylor Swift. It's the same thing with like your position on anything today.
Dude, you just remind me of something that to me is hilarious. So I bought a new pickleball paddle the other day.
Another one?
I buy one like every week at this point.
Can
It's
I
like
have one of your older ones, by the way?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm actually
Okay.
going to buy one off.
like,
Okay.
it's got
Yeah.
40 of them.
Thank
yeah,
you.
might as well. Why get a new one?
Like I can't stand the idea that there's some new paddle floating around in the market that might be better than the paddle I have. It's
Yeah.
like unbelievable. Like when I played tennis, I just bought one tennis racket, and I was going to buy a new tennis racket
Okay.
every year. Never mind every 2 weeks or whatever I do.
The golf
So-
industry called. They'd like to have you back. They like this kind of behavior.
This is the danger. Like I came from golf, and I was like, oh, $150. That's what I used to play for a round of golf. I can buy a paddle. Anyway, I bought this paddle, and it has like at the top of it, there's like a little Bible verse. There's like a John 3:16 or something at the top, right?
Classic.
And like I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I like to watch paddle reviews on YouTube. And I watched a review, and like YouTube does the thing where they keep, oh, you want to see more of this, so it shows me it. Every single video I watched, the number one comment in every video is a guy being like, hey, just so you know, guys, there's a Bible verse at the top of this paddle, and I think it's super messed up, so you shouldn't buy this paddle. Like, don't throw your beliefs on me, man. And then there's like a discussion, there's like fire breaks out below between people who are like me, who are like, dude, like I just want a pickleball paddle. Like I don't care. It's like tiny. And then a bunch of other people who are like, yeah, don't do that. Every video, just because this company had like one little thing, it's just like, not even my pickleball paddle is safe from like political controversy. Like people just wanna.
Would it be as controversial if there was a Ukraine flag on it?
So I had the same thought. I was like, would I feel the same way if I bought this paddle and there was like a little rainbow flag at the top? Like I would still play with the paddle. Like if the paddle was good, I would still play with it.
Right.
But like I would be like, you know, like.
But you wouldn't if you vehemently fell into a position in a category in a group ideology that was completely against Ukrainian flags or rainbows or
Right.
John 3:16. And those are the people that are arguing and screaming in the comments.
But this was the thought I
that's
had about
the
myself. Like I was like, am I really being this objective, or am I just okay with the Bible verse because I grew up Catholic and I'm surrounded by Catholic people, but I'm not like gay or trans or anything. Like I have no connection to this like symbol. So would I just be
No.
this guy if there was like
No,
another
I don't
symbol?
think it matters what it would be there for you, I would say, because you have the ability to separate what you think from your identity.
But I think there's a
because
limit.
when you identify
There's a
with what
limit.
you believe, you become stupid.
Okay, so this is what I thought. I was like, okay, if it's a tiny little like trans flag at the top, like
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm still playing with the paddle. It's a
Same.
good paddle. But then I was like, what if the entire paddle was just like a
Ukraine flag.
just a Ukraine, a Ukraine flag or
I
trans flag or
guarantee you
something.
if that
Then
flag-
I'd be like,
I
they were
guarantee you if the paddle was good enough, you'd play with it.
like there is a point where there actually is a point where I'm like, I don't know, I don't like this battle. And then I'm like, well, actually, do I have any of these fundamental beliefs, or am I just like these
But at that
people?
point, it's different.
But I'm like
at
one
that
thing
point,
over.
you're wearing the Ukrainian flag walking around.
No, you just
That's
want-
like a
you just want-
huge statement.
He just wants level 9,000 spin
Yeah.
on his pickleball.
But I just want to be like, I want to be like objective in my thinking, and I'm like, maybe I'm not being objective. Maybe
Look,
I
that
am.
aside, I think it's about when you identify with your beliefs, you become stupid. Keep that in mind. Like that's my thesis.
And I think we're pulling in the like algorithm we see online. We talk about the echo chamber, like Steven mentioned. He starts clicking on things, he gets more of it. But we're pulling that into real life, where we're kind of choosing our friends and people we like to associate based upon.
That's so sad.
That's the word. That's the scariest.
So sad.
And that's what I appreciate most about
COVID shook
our
everything
friendship, our group of friends, even the larger community. Like all those are welcome. You know,
Yeah.
all those, arguments and perspectives are welcome, and you should have like a wide funnel of perspectives,
Yeah.
coming at you.
Well, we naturally just shifted to the topic, so settle into this a little bit. Shift in your chair.
Can I do the thing first?
Wait.
Yes,
wait.
you may.
Chat just blew my mind. Did you know that there are Bible verses on every In-N-Out cup?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know that.
Subtly.
Don't care. Love In-N-Out.
Look
Delicious.
at that. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just my entire. They could just like brands like the top of the burger with just like Jesus loves you.
Hot
I would
take,
still
In-N-Out
eat 'em.
has been crumbling.
Wait, no, I just went there the other day.
Crumbling.
It's good. It's
Last
delicious.
3 times I've eaten In-N-Out.
In-N-Out
I
is a
felt
machine. There's
terrible.
no way that In-N-Out's
I'm
quality
telling
is
you,
just like
the
slipping.
conveyor belt is broken.
No,
No,
it
dude,
is
have you
not.
seen that onion chopper?
Broken,
The potato
bro.
chopper? thing?
In-N-Out is
Okay,
immaculate.
they say the 3rd time's a charm. I'm willing to go 4 times. I swear to you.
You went 3
I
times in a
swear to
row?
you.
There's no way.
I have an accomplice as well. 3 times in a row.
I have literally
Terrible.
never had a bad burger experience at In-N-Out
I
ever.
can't wait to come back to a good experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
People seem to just serve you a lot of bad burgers. Like, do you
Just Mike
do anything?
bought some magic spoon for his kids.
Yeah.
Posted in the Discord that they loved it.
Awesome. And I just checked the box. No Bible verses. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing on this box will offend you unless you don't like wizards riding
Unless you need carbs.
kind of scary rabbits.
Unless you need cabs of sugar.
Cab.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to Magic Spoon. Go to magicspoon.com/alfalfa. Check out the discount and use alfalfa at checkout. Unless you're offended by 0 grams of total sugar, 4 grams of net carbs, 13 grams of protein, you should like it. I think it's tasty. It's like suspiciously good and tasty, and it makes you check the ingredients.
It is just as tasty, if not more tasty, than
Then-
all the stuff we ate as a kid. That was definitely not good for
Way
us.
healthier than that shit.
Oh, way healthier.
Way
That was
healthier
just
than that
like
shit.
sugar. Like, how can we put sugar into different sort of forms, but
Yeah.
just the whole thing is just like sugar?
I think
just
it was
like a big
made up
So
of
the big bowl
atoms
of
in the universe
big bowl
that
of
didn't even
diabetes
exist.
inducing. Yeah,
It was
it was not
literally-
good for us.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Would
Yeah.
love more comments on the allulose ingredient. Maybe we should send him an email, ask him about it. I saw there was some
Ooh, that'd
chat
be
in the
great. I saw
Discord.
a question about
Yeah,
that.
the net carbs is 14 carbs minus a gram of fiber minus 9 grams of allulose. So maybe we should learn about that. But in any case, I eat it straight out of the box. I think it's a good snack. I'm not a big milk guy, but in any case, there is frosted, there's fruity, there's peanut butter and cocoa. So yeah, give him a try.
Blueberry muffin.
Blueberry muffin also.
Blueberry
I saw in
muffin
the
slaps, man.
Yeah?
What?
It's like very underrated.
I didn't know about that flavor.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Shit.
I need to reload. Actually, I'm out.
Cool. Well, yeah, use code alfalfa
Yeah,
at
thank you,
checkout.
Magic Spoon.
Get you $5 off the variety pack and help support the pod. So thanks, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring.
You haven't found a milk that fancies you yet? Of
It's
all the
just,
alternatives.
I don't know. Like I get
Macadamia.
caught up in like we're
Cashew.
one of the very few species who drinks another species milk.
No.
Kind of weird.
Talk about the alternatives.
So you want to have like breast milk in your cereal?
No, I don't
No,
want to
he
have any
doesn't
milk, but it
want
just
the
seems
other
weird.
species. So I'm saying, how about some cashew milk? How about some macadamia?
I don't know. I feel like there's second order effects I don't understand that are going on there. Like,
I'm
am I
squeezing
killing a?
macadamia and milking it and then feeding it to you?
Yeah, I
Okay,
feel like
how
I'm
does
using
milk-
all of
how
Lake
does milk
Tahoe
come
to
out
like.
of a nut, by the way. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
I'll just
Especially like a
don't make me
cashew.
answer that question.
Oh, come on.
I feel like I don't know. You're sacrificing all of Lake Tahoe just to get you your almond milk at some point. All the water.
That might be true. Let's
Yeah.
go macadamia.
Also-
We're gonna find you a nut. We'll find you a milk. Have you guys had macadamia nut ice cream or milk? It's good.
I've had macadamia milk.
It's good. Have you had cashew milk ice cream? Woo! Fire.
Maybe.
The consistency whips up real good.
Really?
Just like ice cream. No tummy ache after. Lactose free.
Mm.
Huge alpha.
You
Huge.
keep lactate in your backpack.
No, I'm in a good phase right now. One of the positives of lactose intolerance, if there is one, is that you go through cycles where it gets really bad and then eventually it goes away. I'm in the I can tolerate.
I'm really
Right
excited
now.
for the 40 and over arc of this podcast. Like Eric's already brought up psyllium husk. I'm asking Arman if he keeps lactate in his back pocket. This arc's gonna be nice,
Guys,
you know.
I found the most amazing diapers.
It's literally going to be like supplement sharing and and new orthopedic. Unless we all turn into Brian Johnson. Although that guy does not look great.
I think it looks great.
Do you?
I think it looks great.
Did you see the meme I shared in the chat? Where it was Brian Johnson and it was like Brian Johnson and all this stuff, and then it was like picture of Hunter Biden. It's Hunter Biden,
Crack cocaine.
mostly crack.
Yeah, he looked just as good.
It was like,
Well, anyway,
Don't do crack, kids.
Back
Don't
to
do
where
crack.
we were at. We were kind of discussing opinions and how you arrive at these conclusions in life, and I think it's a really interesting thing. So,
settling
Nick,
in.
I believe it was
Settling in
your.
my chair.
Let's see, who was? Yeah, it was Tyler JDL that asked us in the Discord, what is something you have recently changed your mind about? Could be market related, politics, life, fitness, nutrition, and it's a great prompt, and I think that opens up a great discussion in general about as life evolves. Do you change your mind in general about things? Do you hold firm to beliefs? Do you force yourself to have an opinion? You know, that related. I also wanted to throw this in, like Nassim Taleb, who loves Steven, blocked him on Twitter. I like to remind people that. If you don't have an opinion, resist the pressure to have one. I actually really liked that simple axiom. So, yeah, opening it up.
I feel like I changed my mind like 7 times since I got done with my workout this morning. Is that bad?
No,
On what?
I don't know. Everything. Like,
on something like deep though.
no, but I honestly don't feel like I hold. You know that that phrase like strong opinions loosely held.
Yeah.
I get it. The concept it makes sense. It seems like a good framework, but I kind of take beef with the strong opinions part because I don't like find myself operating like that, where I have an opinion based on belief or preference, and I'm really feel strongly about it. It's more like, well, what have I seen out in the world? Like, what have I actually seen, felt myself, or like in business, like what does the data say? Have we run an experiment? Have we done this before? What were the results? Has anyone else tried this before? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that data is like from everything, from like nutrition to politics to everything. Like the data is like just this constantly changing, sifting sand. And so my opinions, I don't feel like they're opinions, but they probably are. But they kind of like flow with the data and information that comes in.
I believe that for you. You're basically a human spreadsheet.
You are a data-driven opinion holder, but I'm curious, do you have any opinions that are more personal to you or fundamental, perhaps that you had growing up that you changed your mind about throughout your life? Doesn't even have to be recently, but maybe something that is more difficult to apply data to.
Yeah, like, I mean, I feel that I believe in like a strong internal locus of control, right? Like you have agency over your future. And we talked about this in a previous pod, and I don't think I necessarily changed my mind, even though, we talked about that there is a lot of luck and genetics that plays in.
Maybe we shouldn't have started the segment with Nick.
Yeah, so I just totally subterfuged, like the easy. But I don't know. I'm curious if you guys feel that way. I mean, you guys are we think similarly.
Bro, I've changed my mind on like so many
Can you give me something, warm me up? Because like you might actually bring out some.
I'll warm you up. I was literally in the car, and this is bad, but I would like, that's so busy. I was like, I got to write a couple things down. So I wrote a couple things down of like first things that came to my mind that I've changed my opinion about. Children.
I know. I was gonna say I got one that you've changed your mind.
They're not that annoying. I thought they were really annoying when I would see them.
What about children and travel?
Oh, yeah.
You've changed your mind on that one.
The appropriate age to get married, aliens, socialism, how to achieve equality, city life versus suburbia, what makes a great book, thought leaders and gurus, the existence of a unifying consciousness, aka God, pineapple on pizza, the value of college.
Wait, hold up. Hold up.
Of course I'm for it now.
Oh no.
The value of college,
God.
old world versus new world wine, and Donald Trump.
Okay, I'll take what makes a good book for 600, Alex.
Okay. So, Phil, let me talk to you. What I used to believe made a good book was like pop culture reviews, New York Times bestseller list, anecdotal things that you'd see like people pull out and be like, this is the alpha and like this is the edge. And I can't stand that now. In fact, when I see a new book become very popular, I avoid it completely. And I don't really want to engage with it until I see that it can truly stand the test of time. Now, at a very minimal scale, that means 2 years. 2 years later, if that book is still getting rapidly recommended and is still on the bestseller list, fuck the bestseller list, put that aside. If it's still getting referred and recommended and people are saying there's tremendous, real evergreen alpha in here, I'll pay attention. But still, I would prefer to read the best books repeatedly than I would like jump onto the next productivity, focused, find an edge in life nonfiction book. Now I'm speaking of course specifically about nonfiction, but I think probably even the same can be applied to fiction to a certain degree.
Was this change of heart like one day you woke up and you're like, you know what, I think differently about this, or was this like a slow change over time?
No, it was a slow progression where I realized that I wasn't finding anything new. I noticed that books started to appear like Marvel movies, and they were all the same. And it was just like a continuation and a profit extraction and a remix of previous ideas and just a marketing campaign rather than original thought, which, of course, original thought is a very difficult thing to do. But if you look at an author like Robert Greene and the amount of time that he takes to put into a book, this is like, let's pick a modern day author, Robert Greene, like Mastery or 48 Laws of Power or all of the other books that he has, Art of Seduction, like the amount of research and care that he puts into a book, that book is meant to stand the test of time. Even his sort of cousin author, Ryan Holiday, who was his mentee, who takes the same approach. Like those books are meant to, even though they're modern, they're meant to stand the test of time. They're not really meant to be like this latest alpha edge that you can find. So personally, I go back to the Alan Watts, the Senecas, the Epictetuses, the Napoleon Hills, the Earl Nightingales. If I'm into personal development mood, like I'd much rather be in that realm. Like, yeah.
What about you, Steven? You got anything like examples of big changes?
Got a lot. I don't know how off the reservation you want to get.
Aliens?
No, I feel like aliens have been pretty consistent for me.
I know one.
What?
The moon landing.
I don't know if I've changed my mind on the moon landing. I would just say I've shifted my probabilities.
That's the same.
Significant.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I almost included that in my list.
Okay,
I
so
had it at 0%.
Does that count in like changing your mind? Because I feel like
Yes.
that's constantly what it feels like for me. It's like, the probability shifted, but I
Yeah,
never.
I feel like if you shift the probabilities enough, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
that counts.
10%
counts.
minimum threshold?
Oh yeah, more. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's
for
bonkers.
sure.
That's wild. To shift your opinion on something like the moon landing more than 10% is huge. That's significant.
I think the thing like that's happened like most recently that I've changed my mind on a lot, and I don't want to get like super down the political rabbit hole with this, but it is like Israel, and I think that's been like an interesting experience for me because like I came into our Discord and I expressed like an opinion, and like I was met with like a lot of like opposing opinions from the likes of like Troy and Marty and some other people. And it was like good. It was like healthy pushback, and it prompted me to kind of like evaluate like, why do I think this? Where do I get my information? Where do these beliefs come from? And like I don't want to say that like I've gone completely over to the other side or anything, but like I think I view the situation from like a very different perspective now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times I think when my mind is changed, when I go back and do this like sort of like ex post facto diagnostics on why this happened, like I see like the same pattern. Like usually I was like fed a narrative from like one third party. It was like a trusted third party or a bunch of correlated third parties that like gave the illusion of diversity, but it's actually just all the same entity feeding you a narrative. I never did any of my own thinking or research on it, and then I just sort of went through life accepting it, and it was repeated a lot, and I thought it a lot, and the people I liked said it back, and so it just became like you kind of like embedded in my brain as like truth, right? And then when I go back, I'm like, oh wait, actually, why do I think that? Where did I get that? Like a lot of the time I realized like I've been propagandized to an extent. Like I feel like I'm pretty immune to propaganda, like more so than the average bear, but like still like I know I'm getting propagandized like all the time. I think the propaganda is getting like more and more sophisticated as we all evolve.
It's not just the propaganda, it's that we need to fit in and be liked as human beings. That's a big part of how our opinions are formed.
Yeah. Like we want to associate with tribes. Like we have tribes. We don't even necessarily think of them as tribes, but we hang out with people. They believe a particular thing. It's sort of like cachet to believe that thing, or like it's required to fit it, and you just kind of go along with it. You don't think about it, and that just becomes your de facto belief. But like I try not to like hold any of my beliefs like as like a part of my identity, because like I think once you really identify with something, like you can't let it go.
You become
And, like,
stupid.
Yeah, like not only can your mind not be changed, like you can't even like listen to dissent without becoming like very upset.
Right. Which means you're not even thinking. If you're emotional about a topic, that means you're not even processing that topic appropriately.
I got one. You spurred a little idea. I think I've changed my idea on commitment. I used to, and maybe a lot of guys our age have, or maybe let's call a slightly younger age, find themselves optimizing for freedom, right? It's a noble thing to optimize for, and that was like my main thing. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want, and I want to be able to go wherever I want and still work and find purpose and meaning wherever I go, right? It was like all about having the maximum number of options. And listeners of the pod know I've become engaged in the last year, and I was even committed before that. So let's say this started maybe like 6 years ago, where I found that like making a commitment, making a choice, and feeling that emotion of commitment is actually maybe even more freeing than having all the options to you. And I think it could apply to like, how do I make money? Do I have like 7 side hustles, or do I just commit that this is the way that I'm going to do it will work? It could be in like, okay, will I finally settle down and buy a house? And, we could sit here and talk about how we might want to move to South Carolina or Utah or Nevada, but like, no, but at the same time, we're committed to living here. And is that more freeing? And I found a few things. Like, there is a little clarity and focus. You know what you're going to do with your life. It focuses you on that to make it even better. You obviously have the reduced decision fatigue. There are no options. And quick side thing, like, I don't know if you've been watching this show on Apple TV, Dark Matter, but without giving it away, there presents the opportunity of an unlimited amount of universes. You times, a million combination decisions you make and which paths they go down. And having that is kind of not freeing, even though this person works so hard to have this ultimate freedom. I think there's a sense of purpose. There's consistency in the progress. You get deeper into like what you're committing to. And then the biggest one is just freedom from doubt, right? Like freedom from doubting, like, what about the other side of the hill? Like, should I have chose anything else? So I don't know. Maybe that's one that.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I don't know. It's what I focused everything on was freedom, and now it's like
you just opened a bunch of stuff up
it's
for
the
me
same
too.
for me. I had the exact same evolution and change of opinion. I had such a good discussion with one of our community members at our last meetup on this exact topic of like, the irony of freedom and the freedom fallacy. Basically, everything you just discussed.
Yeah.
I won't say him by name just to maintain but you know who you are. And it was such a wonderful discussion because I expressed the exact same thing about my evolution of the freedom I wanted and the lifestyle I wanted. The irony is, in the same way that discipline creates freedom, as Jocko says, and you can apply that discipline to financial discipline creates financial freedom. Time discipline creates time freedom. Oh, how ironic. But relationship commitment, that discipline, also creates freedom. And it's very ironic, and it's something that I think most men don't see on the other side of that discipline and that commitment that comes with it. You also alluded to this. You basically said this, but in other words, the compounding effect that you get from the commitment that you pour into one relationship rewards you tenfold, and it compounds over time.
You find the same thing with having kids, because that's like, for me, the next level of commitment.
Still early to tell, but like having your daughter run up to you for the first time when you come home from work is not even a 10, it's 100x. It's just like, wait, this is possible? Like, I tell you that and you'll imagine it,
Yeah.
but you've never felt it. You don't know what that's like to make something and go through the hardship of bringing that baby up and everything that you learn and all the fears that you go through and the family and dynamics and everything, and then to one day wake up and like come home and then have that child like run up to you and value, or on Father's Day to have that baby, basically like she was only 16 months, come up to me and hug me and kiss me and wake me up good morning on Father's Day. How can you not get emotional? Like, it's just like, how am I here? How is this my life? So yeah, it really does reward you, and it does compound. But I like the discussion we're having, because we're not just having a discussion about these individual things, especially the way that you described your evolution, Stephen. It was, in a sense, specific enough that it applies the macro example, right? Of like, how does a person evolve in a sense of like, what are the patterns that exist to formulate, and like, why do we fall into one opinion, and how do we move our way out of them at all?
Yeah.
Like for example, like I was such an atheist growing up, and I was like a hardcore one, and now I have completely reversed my I even would call it a relationship with this unifying consciousness that exists and permeates and makes up the universe. And it's real, and it exists, and it means so much to me. And to go from complete hardcore fundamental atheism to that is such a profound shift. It's a fundamental shift. And how do we do that? The same way in which Stephen described. It's like I somehow got there because my environment and the things I was exposed to just sort of led me, and the disillusionment I went through as a child, not really having religion, led me to atheism. And then it's like a normal response, only to like rebuild myself and find a new way.
So you went to atheism because you didn't have religion?
I didn't have religion.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting, because I had a lot of religion and I went to atheism. Like, I mean, I've had like a similar journey, and like hearing Nick talk about this idea that you shouldn't be optimizing for freedom and independence, like, really resonated with me, because I you know, we talk about some of the underlying first principle things, like, why do you believe things, right? Like, when I believed particular things initially, I was optimizing for independence and freedom, and I sort of viewed these things that like put boundaries on that as like inherently bad. And I think in that spirit, like, one of the larger reversals I've had in my life is that like I have changed my mind greatly on the idea of like social conservatism. Like, I used to be like very like socially liberal, because I viewed social conservatism as like oppressive in a way. I viewed it as like putting like shackles on me. It didn't like let me be free. But then I think like as I grew up and I looked at all of the supposed like freedom that like social liberalism was like giving people. Like I was just like observing not just the world around me, but like myself. And I was like, is this like really making people happy? Like, is this really making me happy? Like, is the end goal really for us to just run around
Be sluts.
as these like autonomous like life forms, just like maximizing our own like pleasure in the moment? Like, is that really
I think
what's
Pinocchio
optimal for
already
humanity?
addressed this.
Who?
Pinocchio.
Oh, Pinocchio.
You know, there's so many
We
different
didn't see that coming.
fairy tales, and that's exactly what it is. So many axioms and maxims and fairy tales and things that have shown us that like it's not about pleasure seeking and freedom. It takes a while to figure that out.
I
though.
didn't even know that was the moral of Pinocchio.
I think, yeah, I think I'm most interested around this topic. I think I'm most interested in how do you learn the lesson or change your mind without having to live through the experience yourself, because that's where you can gain an edge, right? Like, how could I have learned that like commitment is actually more freeing on the other side without actually committing and like, actually experiencing myself? Like, what if I could have learned that earlier and changed my mind before committing? Like, what other, could I have had a better relationship 5 years earlier?
Dude, I had this
So, like, how do you get that?
conversation with Amber like 2 nights ago, and I was like, I think it's like a weird thing with men and women. Obviously like there's some men are like women and some women are like men, but I was like, all in all, like I feel like men aren't good at doing what you said. It's just like you're like, don't touch the hot stove, you will burn your hand, and we're like, okay. And then we're like, okay, like I want to do that. Like we and I feel like this personally too. Like I almost like have to fall down the freaking cliff. Like I have to experience things to actually internalize them. Like I can't do anything theoretical. Like I don't know like what in my life like I've really fully internalized in theory that I haven't had to just like live out the experience of.
There's plenty, because there's plenty of things that we don't pay attention to that are like moral, sort of just like moral case studies and stories and things that have been passed down to us through wisdom or through family or through mentors that we're just like, that's way too far out on the risk curve. I'm not going to do crystal tonight, like it's just not worth it.
I mean, it's fair.
And there are other things where they feel safe enough that I need to experience the pain in order to know for sure, because they're not as far out on the risk curve, and we don't quite believe or trust that they're as dangerous for us.
It's a borderline
And it's a borderline stuff. So, but I will say, I agree that there are some people, I agree that the majority of men are bad at that, and that there are some friends that I have, and they're in the minority, that are just so good at shortcutting. And they're just like, yeah, had a mentor tell me, don't do that. Read it in a book once. Didn't waste 5 years of my life doing that. I'm like, Johnny, like, how did you shortcut this? And he's like, I just read it in a book once, and I just
like,
did it.
500 years ago, that guy would have never gotten on a boat and just sailed across the ocean, right? Like, so there's like it's a double-edged sword.
True.
I think I've had this happen, and I was a part of it was like a entrepreneur group called Gen Next, but it was politically oriented, and I find myself in a group of people that were, on average, let's say 15 to 20 years older than I was, in order of magnitude more successful financially, at least. And I was like consistently hanging out with these people, like making friends with them, going over to the house, going out to dinner, going to these events. And I think that is maybe one way. Like I definitely shifted my things on how I wanted to invest long term.
Good alpha.
I got to learn how they were, how they built wealth over time, how they just seem so like carefree about money and family and things like that, and the mistakes they made. And so I don't know, maybe it's just
changing your circle and your environment will change your behavior.
Go hang out with your aspirational group.
Yeah, 100%.
And it cost me a lot at the time. It was like expensive to hang out with this group, but it was well worth it in the long run.
It's accountability, right? But what it's doing to you is it's causing you to not have the option of making the suboptimal choice, because if you did, you would immediately not belong to that group, and you would be chastised. You'd be like, "What are you doing here, bro?
Yeah.
We don't roll like that."
Yeah.
And if you felt that, you would immediately change your behavior.
So you use the identity thing like against yourself to help you make better decisions. Like
I think identity
you
is
identify with
everything.
this group, you know?
Yeah. I think that's what Psycho-Cybernetics, if you guys have read that personal development book, shows. It's like this,
Psycho-Cybernetics?
yeah.
I saw that book on an
Max-
employee's desk one day, and I was like,
Maxwell, I
It's an
think.
Whoa.
aggressive title.
whoa.
It's like Max, something like that.
Max
but it's
Maxwell?
all about
Damn.
identity. Yeah, I can look it up. It's all about
Psycho-Cybernetics by Max Maxwell.
Psycho-Cybernetics. Maxwell Maltz.
Oh,
Maxwell Maltz.
not as cool of a name. Max Maxwell is a sicker name.
But he learned that people that went through plastic surgery and had modifications to their appearances, aka their identities, changed their beliefs. And he basically like sort of became the inception point of all modern day personal development and not psychology, but personal development thinking, in that your mindset can change your beliefs, can change your thought patterns, can change your outcomes and behaviors. So, yeah, point is, you change your opinion of yourself and your environment, you can really fundamentally change your outcomes. And I think that's super true.
So we just need to identify as 8% body fat billionaires. Yeah.
Yes.
Or hang out with them.
Yeah. Or and
Find
then
a
like
way to hang
yeah,
out with
but
them.
bleed it into
I
your
mean,
identity.
guaranteed, if you were hanging out with 8% body fat billionaires, you're going to become one.
You ain't gonna order those fries.
Like, I mean, like, you know how absurd it would be to not fit in. Like, you're not going to be that guy that just like doesn't. But this is like back to groupthink. It's a double-edged sword, actually, isn't it? Because like, it's extremely powerful for creating outcomes that are positive as well. In addition to the ones that can like lead you down dark paths and like believing things that you shouldn't believe in the first place, groupthink can like change your life in a positive way.
Right.
That's what accountability is, isn't it? That's the law of the 5 people you spend the most time with, which you always bring up, Nick.
Yeah.
You know, famous Tony Robbins saying is like, who are you spending time with? That's who you're going to be.
Well said.
Should we start
Anyway.
asking what kind of diet employees have at the office, just to make sure we like keep a certain nutrition?
You keep ordering snackables. What
I
are
do
those
not
called?
order the Lunchables or the
Lunchables.
Jello,
Lunchables,
whatever the fuck
yes.
those things
Dude,
are.
Nick has the fucking office fridge loaded up with Lunchables, Steven.
I did not order
had
those.
I had some Dunkaroos the other day. It was glorious.
We're like, there was double stuffed Oreos in here the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Like,
Yeah.
what kind of hell are we
I
living
saw
in?
that. I
can't
saw
believe you
that.
allow that
demons, You
in here.
demons.
what kind
Yeah.
of a ship are you running?
Although
here?
there's
clearly don't have control
There's
of any-
Cosmic Crisp apples, which is the greatest
Okay, those are great.
genetically engineered apple of all time. There's
Cosmic
tuna.
Crisp.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the tuna snacks.
Cosmic Crisp.
Wow.
There's tuna.
Although for the office smell, the like canned tuna and a little bit of mayo and yeah, that didn't really like.
No, there's good healthy
Stick one.
stuff in here.
Um,
We haven't busted out the yerba mate in a while.
Yeah, new boss around the office just reorganized everything, and the yerba mate has like its own place now. So now we can use it easily. We should bust it out. Do a little yerba mate ceremony,
great.
maybe.
That'd be great.
A little 11 a.m. picker upper.
I like that.
Okay, guys. Well, you guys were on fire today.
That
That
was
was a lot of
good.
fun.
Oh, you're the fire, brother. Don't fire me. You're the fire.
All right, one quick comment from the chat. Arman going from atheism to acceptance, and Steven from religion to atheism feels like a maturity away from and breaking the change of forced dogma. Amen to breaking the chains of forced dogma.
Ooh, well said. Who said that?
Corby did.
Nice, Corbin.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. We're going to head to the next place, maybe get another drink, kick off a little men's night, and keep chatting. We hope to keep chatting with you guys in the Discord. If you like this episode, share it with a friend. You know, maybe spark up this discussion with other friends. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and otherwise, we will see you next Wednesday live on YouTube, Wednesday at 5 p.m.
This was fun. Thank you very much. Please forward along to colleague, friend, or loved one. And my friend Steven sends regard to your wife. Bye-bye.
All right, Eric, we miss you. Bye.
Bye.